Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll bring them up here.
We'll
Get out of the way.
up here.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do it this one too.
We'll call to order up the agenda.
Okay, it is just after 2, and I'd like to call the meeting to order. First off on our agenda today is the adoption of the agenda, so if I could have the resolution for that.
So resolve the agenda for the meeting be adopted as circulated with the noted additions. Communication for action, 5.2, set upgrade of lights, 5.3, Red River Basin Commission, and new and other business, Ampera extension, 6.4, 6.5, staff appreciation, 6.6, website redesign, finance, 7.2, September 30th, 2024 financial statement, and planning hearings, 13.7 letter of opposition, Baker, Codrow, Chuck, and letter, sorry? Colonel Chucks, sorry, for the mispronunciation, and letter of opposition, Plant, and subdivision public hearing, submission Schmidt, Greengrass, for 15.2.
Okay, thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Horbus, Councillor Bazarowicz seconds. Any discussion or anything else that we need added to the agenda or deleted from the agenda for today? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. I think before we call Tyler up here, we'll do the confirmation of the minutes too.
Resolved that the minutes of October 8th, 2024 regular meeting of council be adopted as presented.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Boulanger, Councillor Strang seconds. Any corrections to the minutes? Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
I believe we have my name in there as attending twice, and I think we also have Councillor Strang in attendance, but she wasn't. Just on the top green
Yeah.
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Members present, Scott Spicer, and Sandra Strang. Yeah, those all need to be removed. Correct,
A
thank you.
correction, please.
Okay, anything else from members of council that needs correcting for minutes from our last meeting? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried.
So, Madam Mayor, if I could interrupt the meeting, one of the things that we wanted to do was recognize our manager of emergency services and by law enforcement, Tyler Freeman, at the 2024 Emergency Management Conference. He was recognized as the Emergency Coordinator of the Year and was given an award. So as part of that award, I'd like to bring Tyler up and let him there, if you could present that award to him.
Thank you for that.
Come on up, Tyler. Over there, Madam Mayor. We're going to keep you at the front,
Oh, here?
facing the audience, right?
Okay. Congratulations again, Tyler. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to just come a little closer so we can.
Ready? Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, well done.
Thank you.
This is a very prestigious award, Madam Mayor, and it's only given out once a year, and it recognizes, or once every 18 months, and it recognizes individuals from taking into consideration right across entire Manitoba. So I think Tyler's done a great job. He's certainly done a great job for managing our emergency management, our bylaw enforcement, as well as many other duties that he continues to take on.
Okay, thank you for that. So now we have a delegation at 2:15, so we're not too bad. Is anybody else coming? No? Okay, so whoever wants to do the speaking can come up to the front here, or if you all would like to come up, that works too. Okay, perfect.
So it's always good to be back in my home council. Good afternoon, and thank you very much for giving us some time to speak with you today about a topic that's of great importance to the Selkirk District Community Foundation, and I believe as well as the RMC comments. Of course, you know me as David Thorne. I'm in the role of the chair of the Selkirk District Community Foundation now, and also co-chair of the Vital Signs Committee. As you're well aware, I'm no stranger to public life. I served as your officer in charge of the Selkirk Detachment between 2009 and 2011. But more importantly, now that I'm retired, I'm very proud to say that I'm in a very good position to give back to this community. I've been the president of the local Rotary Club of Selkirk for the last 3 years, as well as have been with the Selkirk District Community Foundation for the last 4 years. My goal now is to not only volunteer to make this great community I live in even better, but continue the great work of the foundation that supports our community. Joining us today is Meredith Borchers, to my right, the foundation's Community Development Officer. You may have bumped into her over the past few years through her work in St. Clements in the culture and heritage scene with groups like the Red River North Tourism and in the St. Andrews Heritage Center. She joined us at the foundation last fall, very good catch, and now manages our community grants program as well as the Vital Signs program. This lady to my left needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyways. This is Deborah Vitt, the foundation's vice chair. She lives in St. Andrews, and some of you may recognize her as the former minister of the Selkirk United Church. She has a deep knowledge of our community, and if you've not met her yet, I encourage you to do so. So I'm going to say, take it away.
Thank you, thank you. I have been, I'm a resident of St. Andrews community, been there for, I was just doing the math. Well, David was chatting, and it's over 40 years that we have lived just off of Little Britain Road. So know the community well. Our kids have grown up and gone to school there, and while I ran away and did some schooling, I came back and retired out of being the minister at the United Church here in town. So we're back here to talk about Vital Signs, right? A document that lots of you are familiar with. And the first Vital Signs that was done in 2018 was called Mind the Gap. And it's the Vital Signs program is part of the Community Foundations of Canada. And it offers us a community check-in that measures the vitality of the community, looks at significant trends, has conversations with folks, and comes up with an action plan to make sure that we are here for good, which is kind of our tagline. The Vital Signs Mind the Gap from 2018 was built with community consultations, and I'm sure some of you were at those back in the day. And the foundation team of the day took that input and made the report and came up with 9 key points. And they are, out of that report, inclusive community, housing, learning with kids and youth in particular, health and wellness, the income gap, the environment, older adults and aging. And I really liked when the community consultation went, there were some photos that at the tagline on the table group said seniors, and people wrote it, stroked it out and said older adults. So I kind of like that. Arts and culture, recreation, tourism, safety and security. So here we are, back to engage the community and check the pulse 6 years later and find out if some of the things are the same, what's different, where are some of the gaps, and how can we help fill them. The report helped us target the areas that were most in need, right? So when we do our grant applications and we take a look at grants, are they hitting, how many of those sectors are they hitting as they come from the community of St. Clements, St. Andrews, and Selkirk? So we know that the Vital Signs report helps us in our work, but we also know that it helps you in your work as well.
So now I'm going to roll up my sleeves. We're here to ask for the RM of St. Clements to make a financial commitment to the second Vital Signs report today. I know the RM believes in the foundation. That's not a question. I know each and every one of you understands the importance of our presence in the community and understands and gets the value of what the foundation does. not to be overzealous, I want to give you some pretty good numbers that help you understand the last little while what we've done. So since the release of the first Vital Signs report in 2018, some 6 years ago, the foundation grants have supported over 28 programs just in the RM of St. Clements alone, just shy of $300,000. This includes the grant of $30,000 given to the East Selkirk Recreation Association in 2022, when the facility was in critical need of a new ice plant. The other one I wanted to talk about was in the past year alone. There's been 8 programs received a combined total of just shy of $60,000. These projects included a major renovation at the Lebo Community Club, a conservation project in the Netley Lebo Marsh, as well as a vital startup equipment for the East Selkirk Learning Center. So all of these programs directly tie into the community needs identified through the last Vital Signs report. Now, in the background as this is going on, we've assembled our team once again for Vital Signs 2.0 for the second report, and our researchers already started collecting preliminary data for the report and whatnot. We held our first town hall back on October 5th. Mayor Debbie, I know you were there, so we can listen and learn from the people who make the community tick. It's all about community consultation when it comes to foundation. We're passionate about our communities. I know you're passionate about your community, and the opportunity to come together to build a better future helps us both. So what we want to know is how far we've come since the first report. And the key questions we have, have we improved on any of the things that we studied in our first report? Where do we need to focus on? What requires more work? Have we closed the gaps a little or a lot? Or have we missed the mark at all and have those gaps gotten wider? So these are some of the questions we want to ask the people of St. Clements. At the foundation now, we're ready to do another community checkup. And we're excited to take this next step.
So as we indicated before this council this past spring, we've taken the time to put the team together and put a budget together as well for the report. And the RM of St. Clements generously supported the previous 2018 report with a financial commitment of $15,000, and we thank you once again for that. So now we're reaching out again. The RM of St. Clements, the City of Selkirk, the RM of St. Andrews, and the Lord Selkirk School Division, all of these areas are being asked for a financial contribution towards the development and then the publication in a variety of ways, not just paper, but online and digitally, making that report available. The foundation is contributing $66,000 to the project, and we're asking each of the community partners to contribute $12,000 this go around. And that's $12,000 over the next year. And it's great to know that the school division confirmed just recently they're contributing the $12,000 over a 2-year time period towards the report. So on behalf of David and myself and Meredith and the rest of the clan and Bev Clay, our executive director, we want to thank you for considering this request and your continued support for the community through all of the foundation's activities. So we open it up to questions from any of you for
Sure.
any of us.
Yep, go ahead, Rob.
The last report I found very, very interesting. Just the data that was created from it, letting us know, as you indicated, this is it, all the wants and needs of the region and how, as elected officials, create, how when we create policy, when we do things within our region, that report was really, really helpful. I was amazed with what was in there.
Great.
And that was from 2018, correct, when that first one came. So it would be kind of exciting to see this many years later, what changes and some of the needs that were addressed then, have they been addressed, as you say? So that, and there was a lot of data in there for St. Clements and more importantly, the entire region, right?
Right.
How we should all think and tick and work together.
Right.
So I thought the first report was great, so yeah, it's
Great.
all good.
There is going to be more of a regional focus, not just pulling out the city of Selkirk, or it's going to be lumped it together because let's face it, the Trias community works a lot together. If it's crime doesn't just happen in the city of Selkirk, it migrates.
And certainly as an RM, that's what we would like to see, is a real collaborative regional approach on not just this, but a number of things. And we've always pushed and targeted that. And I think the more we articulate that to our neighbors, perhaps we can all hear it and see it and do it at the same time.
Music to my ears.
That's been a focus around the table
Yeah.
as we've been together for this report.
So I know it's soon after the roundtable or after you had the event. Have you any inkling as to what the big things are that came out of our Saturday meeting, or not at this point in time?
So we met, and debriefed for a good 4 hours as a team. And there
All
was-
of that down, was just a lot. But it was great, it was
Yeah.
really good.
To me, there was no aha moment.
Okay.
Mind you, I pride myself on still keeping the pulse of the community, around the table, no matter what organization I represent. So you'll probably see a lot of the pillars back again that Deborah mentioned, but probably a couple more. There's been a couple of a food security kind of creep into the region more so over the last 6 years than ever before. I think, whether it's inflation, whether it's any number of reasons, we see people are struggling a little bit more, and that was one area identified. To say what level it will be in the report, I think it's a little too early for that.
Right.
But that was one that I can see being included on the next one.
Did you have any, sorry David, but did you have anything, Meredith, to add to that? As our,
Yeah, for sure, food security. I think another conversation that came up quite a bit was youth and across sectors. Thinking about youth mental health resources, programming. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that as well.
There was talk about homeless.
Yeah.
There was definitely, that was one of the
Yeah.
groups that gathered together.
Yes.
Yeah, so and what we're doing different this time is, the last time I was involved, but I wasn't with the foundation formally, and we had the big town hall, like we did on October the 5th. And again, I think back in the day, it was about 70 people showed up. This time there was 110 people showed up. So that alone was even more exciting. But what we're going to do this time is we're going to have one-on-ones or small group meetings where people may not be comfortable speaking in front of such a large group of 110 people, but might have a story to tell, such as people that don't have homes, or people that are struggling with addictions or whatnot. So we want to capture all information and all data and try to represent a large cross-section of people in our community, rather than just the 110 people that show up. So that, stay tuned. There's
Certainly breakouts.
absolutely breakout sessions, whatever you want to call it, small groups, and we can include one-on-ones. That's in our strategy here moving forward.
We've been in contact and have a conversation with Kevin Wilcock at the high school to try to talk about, the youth of philanthropy, those kids that are kind of plugged into where they see their energies valued or maybe not valued in the community. So that conversation will be coming up as well.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep it all together and have a report by spring,
That's a tough
hopefully.
question.
Hopefully a report. That goal is to.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, you answered some of my questions there, and it was revolving around what you brought up, the mental health and the addictions sector or area of it. It is a scary thought just talking about that, because it's so rampant in our community and people need help, right? So is that where you draw and get that data from, is from those focus groups, is from the schools, is from, let's say, public health, where I know a lot of people and they're dealing with it on a daily basis, drug addiction and homelessness and all these other things, mental health. Is that where you draw the data from? I'm just wondering,
That's
my question is.
part of it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, because I
the lived
think,
experience is a tremendous, a tremendous data point. It's not, I can't go to a government agency and get lived experience, right? So it's going to tell me a different story from what, a government report will tell me. But you combine combine the two, you're certainly going to paint a pretty good picture of that type of situation in our community based on a regional basis. Right?
I just think it's, and some people get it, but I just think it's more pervasive out there than people understand or get.
I agree. Thank you.
Yeah, the one question that well, not really a question, it's more of a comment. I know that at the event, there were a lot of conversations about transportation outside of the city of Selkirk. So I'm hoping that that will be looked at, and I know that, you know, Selkirk Transit is supposed to be looking at trying to expand, but we haven't heard anything here. So I know at one time they used to come to our seniors' home here in East Selkirk, and that doesn't happen anymore. So, you know, whatever is in there, I know that that came up quite a bit on that Saturday that we were all together. So
And that is what,
Yeah.
we're working on,
yeah,
seeing what we can pull together
right.
that can reflect back that conversation, and then enable the city and the two RMs to
Collaborate.
figure out how to collaborate
Yeah.
and figure out how to move forward.
Right.
If the community's saying it's important,
Yes.
Then
exactly.
we gotta, you know, how
Yeah.
do we respond?
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Questions? Comments?
Gordon Howard used to provide that too, with the bus service. They come up and pick up seniors or whatever, come to their center. It was a really good program.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were represented at the town hall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
been at some of their meetings and that they're trying to use. It's
Now the
encouraging.
Now, the monies that you're requesting this time around, is there anything for next year or this year, or can it be split if council so chooses? How are you looking
Yeah, I don't
at
have
that
problems
part?
if so I'm very aware of the municipal, the budgeting, right? So that's why we're here at this particular period in time, so you can build it into your budget. If you need to build it over 1 year or 2 year, that would be completely up to council, but we are looking for a $12,000 ask. In the day of inflation and everything going up, 6 years ago we asked for 15, now we're only asking for 12. And like I said, we're contributing the lion's share at 66,000. We're in a position where we're able to, as well as we've had a new partner come to the table. So it takes a little bit of the burden off the 3 municipalities.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Any closing comments from any of you?
I'm just excited to be back in front of council. It's a very friendly room. I know you supported Vital Signs in the last go around. You've been very supportive of the foundation, and again, I just appreciate the time of coming and listening and hearing us out, and look forward to working with council going forward. So.
One last question.
Yeah, go
And you
ahead.
may have said it, but I probably didn't catch it. Is there a timeline on when you expect the report to be done, like hard copy, like?
We October 2025 for hard copy.
I think that's reasonable, yeah.
See, I was paying attention.
We figured, you know, we should have work ready to go in June, and then we'll go over summer and be ready to, you know, 2022. And it's been my first time in front of this council, so I want to thank you for your time and your energy and your great questions and comments. We really appreciate it, and happy to take that back to our next meeting that we're going to be having as well.
Okay, and we'll have some discussion around the table here, and
Great.
the administration will be in touch with you folks and let you know in which direction we're going. So
Great.
if there's nothing else, thank you very much for coming.
Great. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, Madam Mayor, our next delegation is here, Ruby Raymond.
Yes, okay.
Mr. Raymond, you can come up and present to council. Yes. Welcome.
I'm at a wit's end now with these Valley Fiber people. I live in the Goodman subdivision. They came around, I guess it's close to a year ago. They tore my approach up with the ripper on a cat. They went in the ditch. it was dry at the time. And there's heavy land where I am. They plowed out a trench, and through the winter, the frost pushed the cable out. Then in the springtime, they came around with a backhoe, and they dug a trench and they buried the cable. But on my end of the lot, they changed the elevation. It's not natural water flow, it's in the spring it drains like kind of against the lean on the land, like they say. So when they dug that trench and buried the cable, it affected the lay of the land a bit. So the ditch wouldn't drain out in the spring like it did before they came in there. I came to your office here. I spoke to the people here, and I thought that that was like private land, I mean public land, because it's not on my land that they did that. They did that on the road lines. And yeah, they said it's not on your land, but if you want to get anything done about it, you gotta look into it yourself. So I did. I got a hold of Valley Fiber. There was a gentleman came down. I told him my concerns, and he told me about some of the people that he's got to work with, and sounds like the guy was in dire straits. But anyways, the whole summer went by and nothing happened. I came to the office again. They gave me a different phone number. I called that individual. I finally got a hold of him. He said his, I forget what term he used, but an individual was going to get a hold of me. 2 months later, there was no individual, no nothing. So I went to Winkler. I found 4 different offices where Valley Fiber was, but the people in all of those offices, that wasn't their department, and they didn't have nothing to do with it, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, here I am. I've got an article here that was in the Carolina News, and there is a municipality called Taché. They're kind of, what would they be, west of Steinbeck. And they had problems with these people as well. And like these Valley Fiber people here, they say that they want to make it so that you won't be able to tell if they were there or not. Well, you can tell at my place that they were there, because there's a trench in the approach, the ditch isn't level. And they point out a lot of things that there are a lot of people that take a lot of pride in their property and the property lines and stuff. And when Valley Fiber comes in, they just destroy it all, and they figure that's cool. And there's even an amount here that Valley Fiber is getting. It's like over $3 million. Well, you mean to tell me they're getting paid to go around and destroy property? So anyways, I'd like to see it put back the way it was.
Okay, I guess I have a couple of questions. First of all, when you say put back the way it was, does that mean that the ditch needs to be leveled again, or does it have to be dug deeper, or does it have to be filled in? Like, I'm not aware of what your problem actually is, other than you're not happy with the work that they did in front of your property.
Yeah, well, you see, the approach that they tore up this winter, when I was clearing that approach with my snow blower, I damaged my snow blower because what happened is it fell down, it went down in that rut, and I picked up a frozen chunk of dirt. So that's a concern of mine. And then, like, I have seen what mosquitoes can do, and that is no bullshit. I'm telling you, if you've got a place holding water, you're just looking for it. And that ditch in the spring, it used to drain out dry. But when they came and dug that trench and buried that cable, they changed the level of the ditch.
Okay, I guess I'm going to ask our administrator if he can give us a little more information, because I know that we have had issues in other areas, and I know that we are working towards having all these issues rectified. So I'm going to turn it over to Deepak to see if he can tell us anything more about the work that should be done and hasn't been done, I'm going to say.
Well, we've been in touch with Valley Fiber. Valley Fiber has said that they've tried to contact you, Mr. Raymond. I'm not sure if they have in the last little while, but as of September 3rd, I think they had said that they were reaching out. As of September 3rd, they said that they were reaching out to contact you. We met with Valley Fiber just yesterday to identify that there were some outstanding issues with some of the existing works that they had done. And they're trying to meet them. Now, the big issue is what your expectations of getting the drainage ditch resolved, and what expectations are general requirements for them, may be something that I'm not sure we might be able to please. Your driveway, for sure, your approach should be leveled and put back to the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and when they went off the approach, like when they came on the approach, they tore it up kind of like the back slope of the approach. So, I mean, they just completely destroyed that approach. Because for one thing, it was dry when they went in there. Like, it was really dry. And I'm telling you, it opened up a trench and it didn't fill back in.
We'll contact them one more time to see if they can contact you, Mr. Raymond, and see if this can be resolved.
Question?
And, like, I cut that ditch this year. But I had one heck of a time, and I tell you, I didn't do any justice to my mower. But I don't know, to my way of thinking, I think if you've got a ditch, it should be working. And I know that ditch was working before Valley Fiber came in with their cable thing.
Okay, I think Councillor Boulanger has a question or a comment.
Rudy, do you have a cell phone or a landline?
I've got both,
Both?
yeah.
Okay. And we got the correct numbers? Or
Yeah.
Valley Fiber's got the correct numbers?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm not sure that there's anything more that we can do for you around this table, Mr. Rudy. I think what we're gonna have to, or Mr. Raymond, I'm sorry. I think as Deepak said, they have had a meeting. Valley Fiber is supposed to be getting a hold of you. I would hope that they would get a hold of you sooner rather than later, but remember that meeting just happened this week and today is only Tuesday, so I would hope in the next week or so that they will be contacting you to see what can be done to correct the problem that you have there.
Well, like I say, I'm at wit's end. I spent the better part of the day. I went all the way down to Winkler. I found 4 different sources of Valley Fiber, and everybody, it's like, it's not my department. So, I sure would appreciate something to be done. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, and hopefully we'll be able to help you get this resolved, Mr. Raymond.
Thank you.
Take care, yeah.
She's only asking for it to be back to what it was.
Should have those 2 guys from Valley Fiber
Yeah.
sitting there when he's talking.
Yeah, the problem solved.
Like, I mean, he's not gonna come here and BS us. He went around. It's, anyway.
Well, maybe if we go back in camera, maybe Deepak can give us a little bit more, because I know that they met just recently, so.
Okay, thank you. We have communication for action, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
So the first one is the Association of Rural Municipalities meeting, and the meeting is at the Arm St. Andrews at the Petersfield Hotel on Highway 9 in Petersfield, Manitoba. And for that, we have a resolution put forward as to the attendance, and what we have is resolved there. Feeble Corn councillors Glenn Bassroyd, Scott Spicer, and Dave Sutherland be authorized to attend the Association of Rural Municipalities meeting at Petersfield Hotel in Petersfield, Manitoba on November 7th, 2024. And just by note, Madam Mayor, the Arm St. Clements will be required to present.
Yes. And I was gonna ask why Councillor Strang's name wasn't on there, but I think she may be at RRBC.
Yes, I told Heather, I said I wasn't sure whether
Yeah.
I was going, if I did it on Zoom, then.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I read the resolution, so.
Okay, so can I have a mover for the resolution, please? Councillor Sutherland, Councillor Borges seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, Santa Parade of Lights.
We do realize Halloween hasn't happened yet, so, but, we're excited.
Well, I think what has happened is they've had to change the day of the parade, so I think they're giving us lots of notice that they've had to change the date.
It'll be on Saturday, November 23rd, 2024.
Okay, what is the wish of council? We'll be putting in a float as we normally do, and a couple of councillors and myself will grace the float, and someone will throw the candies out.
Normally, we have 2 councillors associated with driving it. I only see 1 councillor listed this time. One councillor drives?
Yeah, there's only us 3.
It's not like a garbage truck when you have
Good job.
Depends on if we want to drink a little bit. Sometimes it
I'm getting my rest back now.
Okay, so we have the resolution, Madam Mayor. Resolve Mayor Feeble Court and councillors Robert Belanger, Sandra Strang, and driver Dave Sutherland be authorized to attend the 2024 Santa Parade of Lights in the City of Selkirk on November 23rd, 2024. And further be able to resolve, administration be authorized to submit a $50 entry fee.
Okay, thank you for that. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Spicer seconds. Any other discussion?
I'll be sitting beside Councillor Sutherland in the warm cab.
Can you walk this guy?
Just kidding.
Okay, have a mover, have a seconder. If there's nothing else, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Next we have is Red River Basin Commission, and that is the board meeting that we just briefly spoke about on the 7th of November.
Yeah, in East Grand Forks, Minnesota, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
And we have a resolution for that. Resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and Councillor Sandra Strang. Was there anyone else that? And Councillor Glenn Bassaroy to be authorized.
Oh, wait.
No, this is a board
This
meeting.
is just the executive,
just-
yeah.
Just the executives.
Yeah.
Resolve Mayor Feeblecorn and Councillor Sandra Strang be authorized to attend the Red River Basin Commission board meeting at the Fairfield by Marriott, East Grand Forks, Minnesota on November 7th, 2024.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Borges seconds. Any other discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, moving down to new and other business, landfill engineering. And I will turn that over to Deepak for giving us some information on this one.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Presently, the 2 cells at the Lebo landfill are close to capacity, and we are looking at installing a 3rd cell into the new facility, or into the facility. And as part of that, engineering work needs to be completed for the design and construction management of the project. And tender was put out. There were 3 bids put out, received. One, it was identified that there was a math error on one of them, so they were from Dillon, KGS, and Jarrett Cousins. But the bid was not corrected at the time of submission. Regardless of that, there was a criteria identified for selection, and as part of that selection criteria, specific items were identified to be selected on. Scoring methodology was applied to all those, and based on the scoring methodology, and even though the bid that was identified as the highest with the math error, the administration did take it into consideration with a higher point for pricing, but even at that point, it still came in at a lower point level than the next bid, which is from Dillon Consulting. So the Public Works Manager is recommending that we move forward with the engineering services from Dillon Consulting based on their submitted proposal of $183,555 plus local taxes.
Okay, any questions? Go ahead, Councillor Spicer, or were you moving?
All right. I would move.
Okay, so if we can bring the resolution forward then, please.
Certainly. Be it resolved that council accept the recommendations of the Director of Public Works and to authorize the CAO to award the Nebo landfill engineering services to Dillon Consulting based on the submitted proposal of $183,555 plus applicable taxes.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer moves. Second, please. Councillor Morgus. Any further discussion? Go ahead.
So what is this work again?
The work for the landfill itself or the engineering work?
The landfill itself.
Landfill work will probably, we're looking at beginning sometime next year. We'll have to build it into our budget and then see if we can deal with it. So we're looking at, yeah, so it'll have to be for next year's budget, and we'll have to allocate these engineering dollars, or this engineering analysis should give us a better estimate on the cost for the project. Right now, we are only at Class D estimates, so we're hoping to be at, hopefully at least Class D estimates.
Okay, go ahead, Scott.
Well, I'll ask the other question. Engineering will start shortly? for
As soon
whoever
as we
we
select,
choose?
correct.
Yep, okay, good.
Engineering will be done this year.
Okay, anything else? Have a mover, have a seconder. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, Public Works Security System Upgrade.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So on this one, what we have here is the Public Works that has an existing security system required some upgrading requirement, but the existing supplier was unwilling to do the additional upgrades without going through the new system. We brought this for discussions with council, went out to 3 bids. We received bids from Dakota, Lock and Key, Protelic, as well as our existing provider from DSI Security, as well as we have Dakota Lock and Key is also an existing supplier. With that, we're looking at upgrading to the new system, and based on the pricing and the quotes received, we're recommending to go with Dakota Lock and Key as our preferred supplier for this new security system.
Okay, any questions or comments? If you want to bring, well, go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
So we're just upgrading our existing, are we adding any additional?
There will be some additional capabilities built in with the software upgrade, yeah.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, anything else? If we can have the resolution then, please.
Be it resolved, council accept the recommendations of the Director of Public Works to authorize the CA to award the Public Works Security System upgrade with Dakota Lock and Key for an upgrade cost of $10,352 and a monthly fee of $20 a month.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Borges, Councillor Sutherland seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, the next item, 6.3, is a development agreement.
Yes, this is dealing with the development agreement that was approved where one of the conditions was entering into an agreement for drainage works and removal of existing approach and joint driveway, as well as the construction of water and wastewater services. Developer has signed the development agreements as their confirmation of acceptance there, whereas, so we're recommending approval with the following recommendation.
Okay, any questions? We can have the resolution then, please.
Whereas subdivision file S23 of 3035 requires a development agreement, and whereas the developer has signed the agreement as their confirmation of acceptance, therefore be it resolved that the development agreement dated October 18, 2024 between the Arm St. Clements and 100-988-16 Manitoba Limited be accepted, and the mayor and CEO be authorized to sign and seal same.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Strang, Councillor Gazarowic seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, the next one, 6.4, Mterra extension. And if you can bring that one forward, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is for the extension of the curbside for refuse and recycling contract. And as you may recall, we came back in the past and said that there was an opportunity to extend the contract as necessary because the province of Manitoba is going to a new recycling methodology and collection process. They still haven't proceeded any further, and this gives us an opportunity to continue on with the same services until we can figure out whether we would be doing recycling or someone else, and whether we need to go out to a tender for just curbside garbage pickup, and curbside recycling would be completed by the whatever contracts that the province establishes.
Okay, any questions on this one? Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
Just want to make sure I'm reading this correctly. So we're looking at a 10% increase on hauling and a $10 a ton increase for recycling, but yet it's costing us $75 less per metric ton at the gate for recycling. So there's some increases and decreases?
Correct.
Cool. Thank you.
Anybody else, questions? Go ahead, Councillor Horbus.
So if halfway through the year, is this a year deal, 1 year deal, or what?
This is an extension for 1 more year.
Okay, so if halfway through they figure it out,
Then it'll give us opportunity then to prepare an RFP, issue an RFP, and then look at getting a new contract.
okay, but if it's halfway through and they say we're gonna take it over now, are we obligated to still pay that amount there, or is there,
No, if
would
they,
there be something?
there would be a transition plan. They would respect existing contracts, and the intent is to keep that at a minimal amount as much as possible. Because we're not sure
You
once
know
it's
what
all
I'm,
done.
where I'm getting at?
Yes, they would still be giving us our recycling rebates until such time that we're able to switch over completely.
Okay.
Okay, anything else? Okay, if you want to bring the resolution forward then, please.
Resolve council accept the recommendation of the manager of waste, water and waste, authorizing CAO to enter into an extension agreement with Evterra for the period of 12 months ending December 31st, 2025, and further be a resolved extension agreement be approved with the following price change. 2025, 10% increase in haul cost and $10 a ton increase for recycling processing cost.
Okay, can I have a mover, please? Councillor Spicer, Councillor Strang, seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, we have our staff appreciation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We have a resolution of staff appreciation on November 6th. So resolved, the municipal office and public works department be closed between 11:45 and 1:15 p.m. and the landfill between 11 a.m. and 2:15 p.m. on November 6th, 2024 for a staff event. This will allow us enough time for staff to be able to attend the event and then be able to go back.
Where's it
It'll be at the East Selkirk Recreation Center.
Okay, any other questions? You want to read the resolution, please?
Resolved, the municipal office and public works department will be closed between 11:45 and 1:15 p.m. and landfill between 11 a.m. and 2:15 p.m. on November 6, 2024 for staff event.
Now, mover, please. Councillor Horbus, Councillor Bazarola, seconds. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, so we can move on to the accounts. And I think we have. Oh,
Yeah, you guys probably just didn't refresh, that's all.
I did refresh.
no, I have it now. Okay.
6.6
6.6.
is, so Madam Mayor, one of the items that was identified in the 2024 budget was to do a complete refreshment of our entire website and make it more user-friendly and utilize some more, or some of the newer technologies for communication with our residents. Since then, we've gone out to Design Works as well as looked at different options, and with that, the prices that were originally identified in 2023 Turns out that our website needs significant more work, and the costs are a little bit higher, about $10,000 higher than what we had anticipated, a little over $10,000 higher than what we had anticipated. And so we are recommending to go with the lowest quote received. Original budget was for $16,500. The new budget will be for $27,350, and along with an annual site management fee of $22,450. We feel that this is the best resolution, and it allows us to modify our website and bring us into the 21st century.
Thank you for that. Any questions from members of council? If you want to bring the resolution forward, please.
Resolve council approve the following 2024 requested grant. Sorry, wrong one. Resolved administration be authorized to engage Ryan Sanchi Interactive Play for redesign of municipal website and AI integration at a cost of $27,350.
Can I have a mover? Please go ahead, Councillor Spicer. Second, please. Councillor Sutherland. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, now we will move on to the accounts. And the first item under number 7.1, closed list of accounts.
Resolved that council approve the October 22nd, 2024 list of accounts, check numbers 24001465 to 24001516 in the amount of $508,590.21 per payment.
Okay, any questions? Can I have a mover then for the accounts? Councillor Bazarowicz, Councillor Strank seconds. Any questions or discussion on any of the accounts? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? And that is carried. 7.2, financial statement for the end of September.
Resolved the financial statement dated September 30th, 2024 be accepted as presented.
Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Corbis, second, please. Councillor Bazarowicz, any discussion, questions? Hearing and seeing none, I will call the question. All those in favor, opposed, and that is carried. Okay, then we have one grant, and that is under 7.3.1 for the East Selkirk Rec Association. Go ahead, Deepak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The Selkirk Recreation Association is requesting for a grant for the work towards the chiller and many other upgrades that they're doing at for their ice plant. And as part of that, they've made a request for $60,000 after review and discussions with the East Selkirk Recreation Association, as well as the presentation they made from council. The administration has recommended what was approved, beyond what was approved for 2024 to $30,000 for 2024.
Okay, questions? If you want to bring the resolution forward.
So resolve council approve the following 2024 requested grant, East Selkirk Recreation Association 2024, $30,000.
Moved by Councillor Corbis, second please, Councillor Strang. Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Spicer.
So, just clarification question, so they provided all their financial statements as required
Yes, they have.
as per our policy?
Correct. They provided all the details of their financial statements.
Go ahead, Councillor Strang.
I was just going to make comment of our delegation today that they also gave them $30,000, so,
Yes.
yeah, which is nice. Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Have a mover, have a seconder. If there's nothing else, I'll call the question. All those in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, that takes us to communication for information.
Is there anything we can take advantage of in that $42 million to?
Yes, there is,
We're just
Councillor,
gonna see
we will
that.
be
It
looking at
says
filling that out as soon as possible.
soil
What are we
waste
gonna be asking
management.
for? Yeah, for what project?
There are, I was going to take a look at some recreation projects, as well as we're looking for infrastructure projects, basically the landfill, as well as some road works.
Is active transportation part of infrastructure? I guess it would be.
Yes, it is.
It's tangible.
Yep.
Can we ask for a few shekels for that?
We will be identifying that we could look at something once the transportation or the Trails Master Plan has been adopted.
Okay.
As part of it.
Roads, bridges, everything,
Yes, solid waste management,
yeah.
roads and bridges, and active transportation have all been
Oh,
identified.
nice. I'll give you my wish list.
Which also includes, I've also asked Tyler to take a look at it to see if we can also make some solutions for fire and paramedic services. So we're even looking at maybe the parking lot in the soccer as a possibility.
It says even for fire equipment. too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aye. Okay, so the other one that I want to draw your attention to is a legislative change. Is a legislative change on the Manitoba government's legislation related to supporting housing. And one of the big things is the amendment is now requires 300 eligible persons to object to as an appeal, as opposed to what it was 25 eligible voters when it comes to rezonings that are impacting or development plans that are impacting an entire community.
Is
And
it
it's
only
based on my
rezoning? Or are there other, like,
development plan amendment, development plan changes.
you would think they would change it
Yes.
all, right?
Yeah, any of those larger, higher level rezonings, it wouldn't apply to necessarily a subdivision, but
No.
it's a major rezoning or a secondary plan and then introduction and so forth.
Would you have to do a circumference for that, or
You-
could you have somebody in Grand Marais opposing something in Lockwood?
You always have had that opportunity for people to do some of those, but usually the people notified are within a particular circumference. But this is for area plans, which are usually impacting an entire community.
Okay.
And so they're basing it on any 6,000 or higher automatically fall into this category. So we have more than that population. We fall there. Okay, the other thing I wanted to bring up as a discussion for council, and council may want to discuss it further later, is the Public Interest Disclosure Act. So the province of Manitoba has asked municipalities if they want to participate in this. This is whistleblower legislation. And so you could specifically request by resolution to become a part of this and then follow some of the procedures that the provincial government institute under their own provincial bodies, or continue on with the current process. Right now, some municipalities have received this and received it as information and haven't necessarily opted to join it, but this doesn't negate the need for a whistleblower and doesn't negate the need that if somebody has a complaint that they can't take it to the ombudsman. But I thought it was important to have that level of discussion. We could have some more detailed discussion about it later, if you like, council. Okay. Beyond that, I don't have any other specific items to discuss on communication. Madam Mayor.
No, I don't have anything. Is there anything else that council wanted to, there's not very much for communications for info this time, so we can probably move on to our council reports. And I think I'm going to start with Councillor Spicer this time.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was here for the last meeting, but I wasn't here for the council report part of the last meeting. So I'm little ways. September 25th, I attended the tree planting at the Gaynor Family Library. They had Tree Canada and Home Hardware donating trees. So now they are expanding on actually having different types of fruit, which people can go and pick and that kind of stuff. It's actually, to get a moment, just stop and take a look around. There's quite a few trees that go.
Are they in the back, Scott?
No, there's some right in front too by the planning board parking
Oh,
lot.
okay,
Between
yeah.
there and the access road.
Okay.
But there is some also by the expansion area too, because they were going to do some work on the deck there for the kids to have outside as well as inside.
Inside, yeah.
So it's helped out with that project too. October 3rd, Red River Planning District, we had a presentation from BDO on their value for money report. I attended that one remotely from the Co-op gas station on the way to Brandon. Actually, pretty good reception out there, gotta say. October 16th, Red River Planning District, we had a regular meeting. October 17th, here at the library, we had a regular meeting. October the 22nd, which is this morning, we had a committee of the whole, talked about some policy and some public works. And that's all I have unless there are questions. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Scott. Any questions for Councillor Spicer? We have not seen any hands go up, so go ahead, Councillor Bazarowicz.
October 16th through 18th, I attended the Disaster Management Conference in Winnipeg. Presentations and sessions. Dave Wyack, who's the mayor, or is the mayor of Dauphin, he presented on a Dauphin bus crash. Placement of victims, media, meals, care, etc. The biggest problem is media. They're just always there. You can't do nothing there. They just hound on you apparently. Took another session on incident command beyond the emergency site. Another on high stress and communication. Another on psychological first aid, how to deal with what you do and what you see and what you deal with. Wildland fire management. They've got a new program out on DFA. I don't know if you're familiar with it, Deepak. DFA's got some changes happening. They said even at this presentation that it wasn't geared for the people that were there. It should be at the CAO thing, the CMA or whatever.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. Thank you.
Cybersecurity was a really, really interesting one. Hacking, theft of cash, identity theft, how to access. Like, one of the big things is just a job application. You get your real professional websites and that, and you give them all your information. They know where you live, how much you make, where your kids go to school, everything. It's all there. And then boom. And one of the ways you can tell, like, they even have boardroom talks and all this Zoom meetings and stuff like that. The way you can see through it is watch the mouth. They can't do the tongue. If you can't find a tongue in there, it's all over. And then, of course, Tyler's award. And that's it.
Okay, thank you for that. Go ahead, Councillor Hovis, if there's no questions for Councillor Bazarowicz.
Thank you. October the 16th, I attended the Adult Education Awards at the Canadian Legion in Selkirk, which was actually a lot of fun. Sat with a couple from St. Clements that live on Henderson Highway. There was some, James Bazan was there, he did a little speech. St. Andrews was there, they said something, I said a little thing. And yeah, it was fun. And then on the 17th, I attended the GMCC final meeting of the year with Councillor Sutherland. There was a award given to Susan, I guess she's retiring again. And they gave her a plaque in honor of her starting the gym out there. And then we went for dinner after to Donna's place where there was more talking about GMCC. And then I was hoping that we could talk about something after in camera. About,
Yeah, we probably can, yes.
something about that too. And I guess that's it. There's a call meeting this morning. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor Sutherland.
Thank you. October 11th, Sauk Weed Board meeting. One of the things we should, I guess, talk to Kevin about or whatever, there has to be service agreements before the weed board can spray in our municipality on the PR loads. We have to have a service agreement set up with them. And
Keep going.
And also, we never got any bull rushes done because we didn't set up, again with Kevin, called in the spring about having bull rushes or ditch. I think it's beneficial. I know St. Andrews does it, they do it every year. It actually lasts for more than 1 year, then they can do ditch, do one ditch that lasts for a couple of years.
They spray bull rushes?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I think they did it years ago for us, maybe.
You don't know what it's with, what they use?
No, I don't know, but it does the job. Like I say, St. Andrews does it every year. And we always forget to set it up with Kristen in the springtime,
Yeah.
so because they have to plan everything out. And there was a complaint I'd mentioned before, Antonio Sacco, I guess. It's on Rockhaven Road. The weed board, one of the operators had cut his property, because it's a property they cut every year, because he fails to maintain it. They just send him the bill. She always sends out letters ahead of time, which, we saw all that today. They don't just go cut somebody's field without informing. So, she sent out the proper letters. They went and cut the field, and he had planted some little seedlings. And the weeds were so high you would never see them. I went there with Kristen early this summer. She asked one of the members of one of the school there with her to confirm all this stuff. So anyway, at our meeting we decided, he wanted quite a bit of money for these. And the trees that did get cut when Kristen and I were there were still, it's just got tops of them cut off. They weren't big trees to begin with. They were still green, the ones we saw. And the complainant said he should have been notified, which he knows he was. He wanted to go order a bunch of trees, so bill us.
$5,000 worth.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. So anyway, we were in the spring, we will get trees for him. We will purchase them, and he can come pick them up.
Probably be
Which
free.
you can get these seedlings for practically nothing. So that's what we came to. He probably won't be happy, but we've got that settled. October 17th, the MAR Conference, Community Recycling and Waste Reduction. One of the sessions I attended, and this is something that's not new, but I guess they call it TD8 tire derived aggregates that they shred up tires. One of the guys that was sitting at the table in Lake Deboney, they did it in Lake Deboney. And they were very happy with it. The only thing is they did one road, they put up just a foot of aggregate, they subcut it, and then that, you know, the aggregate on top. And yeah, it really worked well. They did another road, they put 2 feet. Learned by mistake. Lots is good, but more is better, it doesn't work. That road just, it wouldn't compact because it was too much rubber. But anyway, this outfit that had the presentation, it's more municipalities are trying this out. I don't know if it's worth it for us to try it. It's a lot cheaper. And yeah, the one person who liked the body that happened to be at the table, he said, we did it and we love it, except for the second one. He said, no, we learned our mistake.
They cap it with gravel or do
Yeah.
they just, yeah?
It's like roads that are soft or, you know, they dig them out, they put those rubber to aggregate in. And so, I don't know, just something to think about if we want to experiment on, you know. I'm thinking Stony Point Road. You know, if we did, like, we did a quarter mile, you know what Stony Point Road is like, but just something to think about. I thought it was pretty interesting. And we were talking about glass. Well, I didn't go to that session because I had to leave early. Dave and I had a meeting at Grand Marais, so I couldn't stay. I had to leave at 2 o'clock. But I would like, there was one on reusing and recycling glass in Manitoba. Didn't go, don't know what it was about, but could have used that information that we're talking today. I don't know, that it seemed interesting, you know, with these shredded tires. So I don't know, just something for us to keep in mind, to maybe give it a shot. I think the Stony Point Road would be a good, you know, to try, just a short boost. Because that, but you know what the road is like, so.
So they're digging it out and just filling it with this tire material and then capping it with gravel?
And they cap it with gravel. Say we're gonna put gravel on a road that was in poor shape. Well, this just substitutes, you put a bunch of gravel, you put the rubber first, then you put your aggregate on top. And
where do they get the rubber from? Somebody brings it or they?
yeah, they have, the presenter was Brett Erkstein from TSM and Peter Schroeder from Engineered Rubber Aggregate, it's called. So they're somewhere in Winnipeg. Engineered Rubber Aggregate. I'll keep this just in case we. It's just something to think about if we ever wanted to try it. I only went to the conference on the 17th. I didn't go to the first day to the tours. I just went on the 17th. And I had to leave it earlier. And yeah, as Councillor Horwath said, October 17th, GMCC. Just to mention a few things, we had our board elections, so I was saying, I think we're gonna have to try to get one more person on, Dave.
Yeah.
Forget the name.
Some
And there's a doctor, chiropractor, he's interested in starting up again at the clinic for just 1 day a week. And Sue's report about the new RV sites, they were kind of interested in that. We talked about that a bit, about the possibility of adding more sites to the site with the other trailers. So, and yeah, and I think we had talked about the aquarium once, about Brandon had gotten somebody to, one of the workers that used to clean the aquarium, and we decided to get another person to do it. Brandon will know more about it. I don't think he actually is gonna, he held back the pay for the check for the guy because he did a terrible job.
We got Henry to do it again, right?
Yeah, Henry had to do it again, and this guy sent a bill
$120
for,
instead of the 500 the other guy charged.
yeah, every time he comes, it's $500.
The guy who built it, or?
Pardon me?
The guy who built it?
No, there
No,
was some
it's
guy
just-
who came up from Winnipeg to clean it and do something there.
Not the guy who created it?
No.
Okay.
So, yeah, Brandon will know more about that. And that's it for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Dave? Okay. Go ahead, Sandra.
I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
we did.
Oh, go ahead, finish
No,
up.
well, Dave mentioned we had the appreciation dinner for all the staff.
Right.
So we went to Brenda McBride, the new supervisor,
Okay.
to her place. Usually we go to the hotel for this. And we
Dave
went to her.
visits another.
Pardon me? We went to her house, yeah. What a house. Oh, man. Unbelievable. But, yeah, and as Dave also said, Susan John would work for, I think she's finished now, retired for good.
Till next time.
Thank you, sorry about that.
Okay, go ahead, Sandra, if there's any questions for Dave.
September 25th, I was invited by Red River North Tourism to they had purchased a table, and I was invited to the Inclusions AGM. After that, we actually had a quick meeting with Red River North Tourism, and they did a wrap-up of the paddle challenge. So I wanted to pass on to Mayor and Council. They did a little blurb. The athletic therapist was very much appreciated, and there was unanimous support for sponsorship to continue this at future events. Having 2 full stations was definitely better than the year before, and it was busy continuously throughout the day. And it is hoped that the RM will continue to sponsor this service. So it was thank you. They just wanted to send a big thank you to you guys. So I'm passing that along. And just that in 2025, they're looking at doing a 2-day challenge course. Starting at St. Vital, going to Lockport, and then doing a portage and doing a camp out there at Half Moon. So they're just in the works of everything right now, so as more information comes in, I'll update you on that. And yesterday evening, on October 21st, I joined the mayor at the IMRA Awards Night. It was the first one since after COVID. They had a very nice turnout. They had 7 awards given out. Unfortunately, none from our areas in the south. 1 from Arborg, 3 from Ross Isle, Grahamdale 2, and Stonewall received 1. And they had a very interesting speaker there. Her name was Fiona Ross. She was from the Central Region Trails. And she had a Manitoba Trails Strategy Action Plan. And one of the things that we were discussing today is maintenance. That's one of the things that they were speaking about yesterday is maintenance of the trails. And the other thing was the volunteers. So how you mentioned about having the volunteer groups looking after certain trails, and they do, actually this action plan would be good for everybody just to do a copy of it.
Yeah.
Has great information in it. And today, the committee pool meeting this morning.
Okay, any questions for Sandra? Okay, go ahead, Rob.
Just 2 things, the Selkirk Weed Board, Dave and I attended that on October 11th. And October 17th, the Selkirk Biz Awards in Selkirk Golf Course. It was a good event. The mayor has all the award winners she wrote down, so I'll let her say that in her report, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I don't have too much this time around. October the 8th, our council meeting. October the 9th, I had a John Q Finance Committee meeting, and we reviewed the draft audited financial statements for presentation last week at the JQ board meeting. WMR Executive Committee meeting, not much to discuss there. There was just a couple of things, like we had a meeting scheduled for next week. Now that has been canceled due to their really, we don't really know where WMR or Plan 2050 is going at this point in time. The province has still not put any legislation forward, and we're just kind of in a holding pattern for now. And from what I understand, some of the groups that were not happy with Plan 2050 are still out there and doing events. They did one in Stonewall a couple of weeks ago. Apparently there was a fair number of people there, but hardly anybody from Stonewall. And last week, I think it was, there was one in Selkirk, and I haven't heard a word about that one, so.
Springfield's doing their own.
Yeah, well, Springfield, their taxpayers are sending out regular emails and newsletters and things like that, so.
Invitations.
Yeah,
Is there
so
anything today about the planning of the city and that?
that's strictly the city of Winnipeg.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
has nothing to
No,
do,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying, Winnipeg.
yeah, so.
Do you think,
Go ahead, Dave.
it's eventually gonna be dead in the water?
Well, I guess it depends what the province decides to do, because everybody seems to not recall or forgets that the WMR was a creature of the province. The province set it up, the province approached the 18 municipalities around the city of Winnipeg to do all this work, and now the province is kind of reneging on that, but yet they're not really kiboshing it at this point in time, or saying that it's not proceeding, or if they're going to be doing something different. We don't know that at this point in time yet, so. Okay, then, then last week we had a JQ board meeting, just the regular board business. I don't know, Deepak might have a little bit more that he wants to share on that. The 16th of October, also a regular meeting of RRPD that Scott spoke briefly about. And as Rob said, we were at the Biz Awards on the 17th. I guess customer service, there weren't very many, so I am going to run through them. Customer service was Iron Image. Community Spirit was the Selkirk Record. Philanthropist was Aaron's No Frills. Visual Improvement was the Petersfield General Store, and they were very happy to receive the award. They apparently did a whole bunch of work inside the store. From what I gathered, they're relatively new owners, so they really kind of put their heart and soul into improving the looks of the inside of the building. So.
Teddy Bolton was
Very good. I thought it was closed down, it's opening.
Marketing and branding was the Grassmere Family Restaurant. Family Farm of the Year was the Pigeon Bluff Farms. Inclusive Employment was Selkirk Soil and Aggregate. The New Business of the Year was the Enjoy Cafe, and it's right across from the old Gary Theater. I did ask her where it was because I never noticed a sign or anything, so she said they're pretty busy, but you know, they're new in town, so.
Supposed to be good coffee.
Yeah, yeah.
Across from the show.
Yeah, kind of right next, it looks like it's a very small space, because I did look at the sign the other day, so, yeah, but, you know, she was quite thrilled to get that New Business of the Year award. And the Woman Entrepreneur of the Year was the gal that runs the Copper Penny Hair Salon and Nails, and she's right on Main Street, I guess right next to 316. There's the dentist's office, and then there's the other building, the provincial building, and that's where she is. Business of the Year, I thought this was really good. It was Care Plus Pharmacy, which is just a small pharmacy right next to the subway, between the subway and the liquor store. And at one time, they used to have a doctor there, doctor on call, or a walk-in clinic. They haven't been able to secure a doctor, but he's very good to any patients that come there and need their meds. And they have a little bit of a pharmacy, and then he does a lot of the prescriptions.
Is that like a franchise? They're in the city too.
Could be,
I
could
think
be.
I heard that it's supposed to be excellent.
Yeah,
like they really-
the ones in town are very good, and actually one of the gals that works in there is actually one of our residents, so it was kind of nice to see her, or get the award. She accepted the award, so. And yesterday, as Sandra said, we were at the IMRA Awards, and yes, there were 7 awards presented, and just so you know, I am no longer the chair of IMRA. I gave up my chair, and there was Peter Boulevin from the town of Stonewall stepped forward a month or so ago and said he would be willing to take a stab at it. So he's now the new chair, and I can't remember what her last name is. Lana from, I think she's from Rockwood, stepped in as vice chair, and what's the other gal's name? Lorna, from, I think she's from Woodland. She's going to continue on as secretary, they hope, so. Go ahead.
Sorry, I did forget about the AGM after, but just wanted to, our mayor was thanked last night because she was on the board since she's been there since 2010. So she was very happy after, not that she didn't enjoy it, that you've been on for that long, but she was thanked for all her services yesterday.
Well, and the thing with it is, I mean, we don't meet that often, but, you know, I know that there's some people on the other side of the river that are quite enthusiastic about getting everything going again, and because we had nothing during COVID like everybody else, and we're just starting to get moving again. So what I would like to see for IMRA is a few more from this side of the river, but of course it's called the Interlake Municipal Rec Association. So it's, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, West St. Paul was there yesterday. If East St. Paul came on board, that would be good. So I might put a bug in somebody's ear. So, and that's all I have. Deepak.
Not much to report, Madam Mayor, other than obviously the council meeting on the 15th, or I mean on the 8th, or, sorry, yeah, 8th, right?
Yeah, 8th.
8th was council meeting, the meeting on the 15th was canceled, and a meeting on the 16th with John Q. Public, as well as there was a meeting on with the city of Selkirk and the city of, or the Arm St. Clements and Arm St. Andrews on the library board, which I have some discussion points for council to discuss on the new agreements made for the library based on taking over the additional space and the expansion of the library, as well as there were meetings with Red River Planning on a couple of different items. One was some of the recommendations that our council has recommended to the Red River Planning Board, in addition to also attending the Red River Planning Board meeting on our agreement with them, which is to start on November 1st, on being able to support some variances and conditional uses to speed up the permitting and zoning approval process. I also had a trip up to with Councilor Corbis and the mayor, checking on some infrastructure issues on Road 89 yesterday, and I've had meetings with developers and as well as some contract work, and then one additional item that I need to discuss with council in camera.
Okay, thank you for that. Any questions for Deepak? Go ahead, Councilor Strang.
On November 1st, you said, are we going to, that's when we will be starting?
That's when we'll be starting to start taking some of the applications off of Red River Planning's hands for certain variances and conditional uses.
And do we advertise it to our residents then?
No, we don't need to advertise anything to the residents, so the intent is to make it as seamless as possible. Resident shows up, they show up at Red River to make the application. The information will be transferred over to our staff to process it. So the intent is to try to meet target timelines as opposed to try to create any confusion as to where residents have to go. So they just show up one location to pay, to apply, and to receive their approvals as necessary. So, but the intent is to get those applications into our the hands of council to approve, as opposed to the delays we've been encountering all summer.
So we're going to have our staff do some of the work, but there's still, everything is gonna be paid for at RRPD?
Correct.
That was my question. So RRPD gets the money and we do some of RRPD's work.
Part of the agreement was for 50-50. There was some discussion at the board last week. There was some discussion at the board last week. They felt that this could be a significant hindrance on them. I've estimated it over $2,000 to $3,000 cost, if that much, for the number of applications that would be processed for the remainder of the year. But they felt that it was better to do a 75-25 sharing, with Red River getting 75 and our staff getting, our RM getting 25% of the cost of the service, and then starting January 1st, it will be 50-50. Personally, I think it's a few $1,000s at the end of the day. That's more critical is a service to our citizens and getting these approvals done as quickly as possible. As you know, it's more important to continue with the development that we're seeing in the RM as opposed to hindering it.
How do they remunerate us for that agreed to amount?
Once the applications are done, we'll do transfers.
Okay.
I don't see an issue
Okay.
with that part of it.
So if a resident came to our counter, you're gonna turn them away and tell them, like after that things get going, the people start to hear about it more?
Yeah, the people won't know.
Okay.
Theoretically, like, whether, who was processing it. That's why it was felt it was more important to just send there. Now, this was identified as a pilot project. Now there's an opportunity to learn from it in 6 months and report back to their board and see how much further we can move forward. I think it's difficult to say that why wouldn't you take advantage of a situation where the workload is shared among partners as opposed to just one member doing it and not delivering.
For their half of it, of the money, they don't do anything. They just get the money.
Yeah, but theoretically, if they were short of, if their budget was short, we would be paying those funds to support Red River anyways.
So
So,
if your budget is short, we're still gonna pay in.
exactly.
Plus,
So
they're gonna give them half to do the work, so let's,
we can discuss further because it's related with financial.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else for you, Deepa?
No, a couple of calls this afternoon that I've had to deal with that I can update you.
Okay, thank you. Heather, do you have anything you'd like to share with us today?
Our clerk one position that's been vacant for a while has been filled, and possibly starting tomorrow.
Oh, good, okay. I have one quick question. Everything worked out as far as our Christmas event goes, and it will be at South Beach? Okay. And I can't recall the date.
December 14th.
Thank you.
And do you need donations for that?
14th?
Will you be doing a silent auction?
Yes.
Yep. For the camper program or?
Okay, anything else that you have, Heather? Okay, so now then I think we can ask for a resolution to go in camera. And I think we have a fair number of items before 6 o'clock to deal with.
Resolve, council recess the regular meeting and go into in-camera to discuss legal and personnel issues, and further be resolved that all matters discussed are to remain confidential as per section 83(1)D of the municipal act.
Can I have a mover, please? Councilor Strang, Councilor Baswell with seconds, all in favor, opposed, carried. Okay, and I'll ask Heather to turn the camera off.
Could you take 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think we need to move around a little bit.
I'm going to get some coffee to keep myself awake, and then that was the CMHC.
It's still, yeah, just give me a minute. It's taking its time, you guys.